The Las Vegas Raiders have fired head coach Antonio Pierce, who I've said since the beginning, since he was hired, that he should not be the head coach, and they missed out big time on two other head coaches that would have been perfect for the Raiders organization. Antonio Pierce, when he was interim, yeah, great. He got a couple wins here and there against a tanking Jets team, a really bad Giants team. He beat the Chiefs. Really, he's gotten the job off beating the Chiefs the year last year. Not this season, but the last season, where he ended up beating the Chiefs. And everybody was like, oh, this guy's a Raider. He needs to be head coach. All he had on his resume was linebacking coach and high school head coach, and he got the Raiders head coaching job. And he was going up against Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Harbaugh, three serial winners. And then you had a high school head coach that he was out of his depth from the beginning, and right here that it is shown with the wins. You got the Chiefs 15-2, you got the Chargers 11-6, you got the Broncos 10-7. All right, that right there shows how he was out of his depth with only 4 wins. And the worst part about it is he didn't even tank properly. You don't even have a top 3 pick or not even a top 5 pick to be able to go and get yourself a quarterback without trading up. Now, when Harbaugh and Sean Payton were there available, I said from the beginning, you should go after these two guys, not only because they are winning head coaches, but so your division rivals don't get him. And guess what? Your division rivals got him, and first season, boom, it took Sean Payton a little while, but boom, playoffs right there. Boom, Harbaugh first season playoffs. Sean Payton in the playoffs with his rookie quarterback for, second year in. It just shows the level of the capacity that these guys can do in winning football games and becoming playoff teams. They're up against the Chiefs twice a year, and they've managed to somehow get into the playoffs. The Chiefs have been used to being the only team in the playoffs in the division, and these two, winning head coaches come into the frame, and now they've made the playoffs, in very quick timing. And Antonio Pierce comes in with a 4-win season. Wow, absolutely catastrophe of a season for the Raiders. But the Raiders look to be making a strong push to draft Shedeur Sanders. Now, they said the same thing with Jaden Daniels, and obviously Washington took him. And I believe the Raiders really need to go out there and get this guy, because they've already missed out last season with Jaden Daniels, and I think there's a high upside with Shedeur Sanders. And when you're in a division where the Chiefs are going to be competitive for a while longer, you've got the Chargers are looking promising for the future. They just need an elite receiver. Look at Tyreek Hill already asking for a trade. That would be a perfect situation for the both of them. The Broncos, they've got Bo Nix. They've got a great defense. They've been great defensive line. And Bo Nix looks great. He's kind of an old rookie, but he's looked great. You really need to come out swinging. And a big swing would be trading up for Shedeur Sanders, because we all know Mark Davis loves him. And, it's Vegas as well. It's a big name. And not only that, you have to go out there and get Deion Sanders as the head coach with Shedeur Sanders. It'd be a perfect name drawing. You're in a big market like Las Vegas. You're going to bring, you already have a big fan base. You're in a great city. I think this is a match made in heaven, and you come out swinging. I believe these two guys could come out and give you a chance to end up competing with the Kansas City Chiefs, with, the Broncos, with the Chargers. We've seen they've gone to, Colorado and made them, a winning football team. Before Colorado had Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, they were really just a really bad football team, a bad footballing program, and they came in and brought a culture. And I know Deion Sanders has said, "Oh, I'll never take a head coaching job," but why not have the opportunity to be the coach of your son? If you want your son to succeed so bad, you're gonna want to go follow him. If they're offering you the job, if they let's say they trade with the Cleveland Browns, because I'm not convinced the Cleveland Browns are going to go out there and get a quarterback, considering they're paying Deshaun Watson a ton of money. I know he's still injured and whatnot, and he's had a setback, but I feel like they're the type to go out there and get themselves a Kirk Cousins. I don't think they'll draft. I think they rather load up the roster. So I think the Browns are most likely to trade that pick to the Raiders if they're trying to load up the roster. And the Raiders come in, they get Shedeur. I think the Titans are going to end up drafting Cam Ward. So if the Raiders take Shedeur Sanders and you offer a lot of money to Deion Sanders, this man even made a song about how he loves the money. You get to coach your son on a team that loves your son with a lot of money. I think Deion Sanders leaves the Colorado program and goes straight to coaching his son, no doubt about it. And not only that, and this is a great opportunity to make history. It's the first time a dad gets to coach his son in the NFL, and then you're going to be going up against, tough competition. I think it's a match made in heaven for Deion Sanders and for the Raiders and for the Raiders franchise, because I believe he could really change the culture, and that's something that the Raiders are lacking. But let's say Deion Sanders is going to stick to his word and doesn't want to go to the Raiders. I think the perfect guy would be Ben Johnson. You would want Shedeur Sanders, or even if you stick it with AOC, you need to have an offensive-minded guy to come in and just build his offense from the ground up. And I believe Ben Johnson is right now, the hottest offensive coordinator. He's putting up 40-plus points every single week with the Lions. And I believe, he's built that offense, and it's a great offense. You don't even have an elite quarterback, really. That Jared Goff before the Lions wasn't really seen as an elite guy. Everyone thought, oh, wow. They'll probably have him for a year or two, make him the bridge quarterback for a quarterback they draft, and now he's coming out and having great years, and leading the Lions to the number 1 seed. So that just shows how he's been able to develop Jared Goff. So I think he could do the same with AOC, or even if he decides to go with Shedeur Sanders, I think he'd be a great guy. Everybody should be on this guy if you want to have a top tier offense. Then you go out there and make Ben Johnson your head coach. So if the Raiders should really be going for Deion Sanders and Shedeur, it would be a great name, great market, great, everything. But if not, pivot to Ben Johnson, and you end up having a great offense, which I believe in today's NFL, the defense doesn't really win you Super Bowls anymore because of the rule changes. And now it's all about quarterback play. If you see the past winners, it's the Chiefs, back-to-back champions. Why? Because they have the best quarterback. Sometimes, they let go of Tyreek Hill, and they still managed to win back-to-back Super Bowls. That just shows that quarterback play is all that matters. It's been a while since we've seen, a kind of like the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Not to disrespect Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco was not a top 10 quarterback, and we're not going to be seeing that in a long, long time. The only other case you could say is Nick Foles, but they didn't even have him for the full season. Carson Wentz, before getting hurt, was having an MVP type of year, and then Nick Foles inherited a top tier offense, had amazing weapons. Alshon Jeffrey was great. They had a top tier running game, a top tier O-line, a top tier, tight end. So my point is, this is an offensive minded NFL, and you need to have you need to have a top 5 offense, or you're not going to be winning the Super Bowl. This isn't how it was back then, where you needed a defense and then you worry about the offense later. Now it's just quarterback play. So if the Raiders want to compete with the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs, you're going to need to bring in a top tier X factor quarterback, and you're going to have to if not, you're going to have to bring in an offensive minded guy who can overlook an X factor quarterback. And the only person that's proven to do it in today's game are the Lions with Jared Goff. And why not bring in the offensive coordinator? But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Leave a comment down below if you think Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders would be able to compete with the division that they're in if they were to go to the Raiders. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.